Hey guys, back with another Maple Story video here. This time, just a few PRs, kind of the past couple days. Arc, Gildana battle, then did a lot of battle analysis testing. Probably talk more in depth about it in my podcast coming up. Just trying to get the right information out there. Don't really want to lead you guys astray. So a lot more testing going on, but this is really about Damien right here. We got 10 minutes full run all the way to the end. See how far we get. But this was a huge win for us, especially with this team. We only run once a week. This is our main EMP team that we're going to be moving forward with. So I'm just trying to get synergy, just trying to really work on mechanics in this run. We didn't really focus too much on DPS. It was all sort of about surviving, knowing our roles, knowing mechanics, especially in phase 2. Phase 1 is pretty experienced. We have a good strategy going. We have good DPS. Obviously, we can do it faster, but we're going to need to do it faster if we want to actually clear. But right now, we're really just about trying to get a good strategy down, mechanics, keep our branding low, and maximizing uptime. So you see right here, 30 seconds in, we're doing a good job DPS-wise. Uptime is there, and we're just trying to push it through. Here, if you watch my previous video, I call it all the skills, comms, and things like that just to make it easier for everyone else. But phase 1 is we're pretty in tune with what we're doing here. So you'll see, I think we end up with 9 deaths remaining going into phase 2. We do end up having a little bit of branding at the end of phase 1. So we do take a little bit of deaths. Could be a little bit faster, but again, really happy with kind of our consistency and progress in phase 1. Really, it just feels like we don't have any issues, and we're really just looking forward to phase 2 at this point. So you see, kind of doing a good job. Everyone's positioned really, really well. And one of the important things is, controlling that rotted, trying to stay stacked with each other, try to, get that rotted to go in a place we want it to go so that we all can move accordingly and not die to rotted. It is kind of the biggest X factor, deciding factor when it comes to uptime and DPS. It can split up the group at times. That's usually one of the biggest issues that people have when they first start out. So I'm really pleased with kind of our positioning. You see a lot of people are moving to avoid that dash right there. And then rotted is going to come. We're going to move out of that as well. So we do a great job right there, positioning-wise, DPS-wise. The team does a good job kind of knowing what to do when he flies up and dives and does his what we call popcorn skill. But you see 2 minutes in right here, our first branding. Fortunately, like there, kind of swords, kind of like I talk about, the rotted sort of breaks us up. DPS sort of lacks here. I try to stun it so we can push it through as people try to cross the double rotted. I think we push it through, not here, but in a little bit. So watch out for this dive. So we have 9 lives left. Doing really well again. We have 2 phantoms and a buccaneer and and a bishop. So we have 6 reses to work with. So we're not really worried. We are playing pretty aggressively here. And I think we push it through phase 1 into phase 2 very shortly, I think after this dash. Yep, there it is. So just under 3 minutes. That's usually about our average. We try to jump around between phase 1 and phase 2 so we don't get rotted and die. In previous videos, that happened to us a ton, and it really frustrated us. But here, we went in 10 out of 10. Really huge relief, allows us to kind of just get our strategy going. This is our strategy. We move left to right for this first dive sequence of the cycle. So we all move left, get that blue orb moving left here, and then we all try to move right for the next skill, which is teleport, just so we can position him properly. He's going to teleport right here. We're all in the corner. Perfect. I stun it up so we avoid this next skill as a dash. The blue orb comes in. We move it out. So we got good uptime there. Could be, that is what we're trying to do consistently, just so we all can kind of do DPS and burst with our split and things like that while he's stunning. And then right here, just that was an unfortunate dash. Not really sure why it happened. Look back on it. It should have dashed into the corner, but for some reason it did dash to the middle, so it kind of cost us a few lives there. Really unfortunate. That actually didn't happen as many times as we thought it was going to. There's Black Ultra in the middle. So you see everyone is sort of just, we have our roles, right? What we did was we assigned 5 people, specifically 2 black alters. We had 2 people assigned to aggro to basically position them into the corner. And then we had 1 person doing callouts for the blue orb. So we had a good system going, and we're just trying to execute it here to the best of our ability, just trying to work on mechanics. So me as the aggro, really my goal is to maximize DPS and just face him into the corner so he doesn't dash to us in the middle. And then we have our phantoms here. One of the things we tried to do was get them to eat those fireballs with synchro for that tornado, just allowing us a little bit more uptime. Those tornado orbs can actually do a lot of damage. Each tick is a branding, so one thing we tried to avoid there. And then here is the black altar. I think it went into the left corner off the screen. But again, dash right there, killed 1 person, unfortunate. But again, we're trying to just communicate these things in comms for positioning wise, consistency. And you see people are starting to kind of jump all over the place. I end up dying to dash right there. My synchro just came up off a cooldown. So we're doing great with lives, 7 lives so far, about 5 minutes into the fight. So really happy with the progress. Our previous PR was around 8.5 minutes of surviving, just making it to the end. So you can see we're doing a great job. Orb is going all the way to the left. Boss is to the right. Trying to keep them, I think it's going to be slashes here, and then popcorn. So we kind of tend to struggle with this sequence right here. Popcorn into the slices into the popcorn. So we had a few die there. Easy things to clean up. That just comes with reps, kind of understanding how to survive it when it's coming. So those are, things we can easily clean up. Someone died there just to positioning from the dash, and here's the tornado again. So we have phantoms kind of just eating these orbs right here so that we can kind of just maximize our DPS, and the guys are doing a great job with the blue orbs, kind of pushing it away from the team because the blue orbs do quite a bit of tick damage. So right here, about 3.5 minutes left, and we're at the second orb. That's actually really good. Really happy with that. I think that we can maybe push eventually, just with a couple more attempts, maybe a week or 2, we can push to at least getting the 3rd orb out. But right now, our biggest issue is kind of just navigating these orbs, right? Getting comfortable with them, seeing how often they rotate, what to do with them. And we noticed that with each orb, they tick a little bit harder. So with 1 orb out, it does 10k damage, and with 2 orbs out, each does 20k damage. So it is quite a bit. It does overwhelm us quickly. We do have quite a few deaths here that were to just tick orb damage. So something we can easily clean up just now that we're aware of it, and kind of just allow us to do uptime damage. So as you can see, the cycle is pretty consistent across the board. So here is going to come popcorn into dash, into, teleport into tornado. And we're just trying to communicate. One of the things that we tried to work on really that was super important was having each, someone communicate the different things. So for me, for example, I was calling out the skills that were coming up next, but I wasn't calling out blue orbs, and I wasn't calling out alters. That was Knuckle was doing the blue orbs. He was doing the call outs. And then we had people kind of look for black alters and call that out as well, someone completely different. So we really had 3 people doing call outs on top of, me and someone else doing res call outs, things like that, because it does get very hectic where people start to die in phantoms and things like that, knowing who is using the reses and who's dead and things. And so there's just a lot to juggle for one person especially. So it's definitely not just me doing everything. It really takes a lot of communication from a lot of different people, and everyone kind of just knowing their role and doing their jobs is super important. Like, for example, my job is not just to DPS as aggro, right? It's to make sure that he goes right and doesn't dash onto the entire team, right? That is pretty much the biggest killer. And I think it happened 3 times where he dashed into the middle and killed people when I should have forced him into the corner to not kill the team. And it led to 6 deaths. So just looking back on it, that's what we saw. Not a huge number, but just something we can improve on, right? Something that we can do better, clean up. We had a lot of deaths here. I think these deaths were just to blue orbs. And, they weren't really to any sort of dash or anything like that. So, again, things we know about now, we'll try to improve on next time. And, we at least have the confidence to know that we can get here to 10 minutes. We can survive mechanically. We did a great job with black altars, blue orbs as well. So really proud of the team here. And now it's just kind of about executing a little bit more, doing a little bit more damage, just being a little better in all aspects. And but overall, just can't say enough about this run. Really happy with the progress. Excited for V3. I think damage-wise, we can get there with V3. It may be close. It may be tight. It may take a little bit of, luck. But I'm excited. I'm excited to get there. This was a really fun run. We can see the battle analysis at the end, things like that. But the DPS charts are kind of misleading, right? The aggro has to kind of carry the DPS because he's going to be standing in the corner and doing, has basically full uptime, where everyone else has to do blue orbs or black altars or things like that. So it's misleading, but it's exciting. Great job by the team. Thanks for watching. Can't wait to share more. I'll see you guys next time.